New this morning, the city of Boulder is looking to step up its red light camera and speed enforcement at several intersections. Now, News reporter Brianna Fernandez live in Boulder this hour. Brianna, speeding, a big problem there.
Yeah, not only speeding, but also running red lights. That's two of the biggest problems that the city of Boulder is seeing right now. So this is all part of their 5-year plan to help reduce those traffic crashes. So if you take a look at your screen, these are the 3 intersections that will be getting a makeover. It's going to be 15th and Canyon Boulevard, 28th and J Road, and then these two will get red light cameras. Broadway and Pine Street already has a red light camera. What you'll notice here is that crews will install an automated speed enforcement. So these areas are considered high traffic intersections, and city officials say speeding and running red lights are just two of the main problems that causes fatal and serious injury traffic crashes around the city.
I think a key message is to just be mindful that the roadway is it's a shared system by many users. And as a driver of a vehicle, you are responsible for obeying all traffic laws.
So construction for the red light cameras will start tomorrow, and you are going to see signage as well as crews just letting you know exactly what's going on. So for those red light cameras, that enforcement will start April 1st. For that automated speed enforcement, that's going to start March 15th. So in just a couple of days. And just a quick heads up, the city tells me that the first month, that's just going to be a warning period. After that, you will have to pay. Jordan, Corey.
All right, Brianna, is a ticket from a red light camera the same as if it came from a police officer?
Corey, I asked city officials that because we hear it a lot. People don't pay their red light cameras because you're not physically getting handed that notice. But they say here in the city of Boulder, that is a myth. People will get that speed enforcement or that red light camera ticket either through mail. But if you don't pay, then you're going to get a citation. That citation, I'm going to read it to you guys. It's a $60 served in-person fee, or you will have to go to court. So it's just best to pay that first ticket that you get instead of having to pay double the tickets.
Yeah, always comes up.
Don't mess with that hassle, but the amount of times we get asked that very question. Brianna, thank you. Well, this week, state lawmakers plan to introduce the first of 2 bills to regulate Colorado's funeral home industry. For months now, we have been telling you about several funeral home operators accused of mishandling the bodies in their care. The first bill would continue regulating funeral homes as a business entity, basically ensuring they're paying their taxes. Lawmakers say the second bill would make a bigger impact. It would require the people who work in funeral homes to be licensed and follow industry standards. Colorado is the only state that doesn't already require this. The most recent funeral home investigation centers around Apollo Funeral and Cremation Services in Jefferson County. The operator is now facing charges after investigators found cremated remains of at least 30 people in a house where he'd been living and the body of a woman in a hearse in the backyard.
In Washington this morning, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer is demanding the House pass an aid bill to send money to Israel and Ukraine. Schumer says Ukraine is running out of weapons fast and needs help from the U.S. in the war against Russia. But right now, the House is on recess until the end of the month, so the bill isn't going anywhere. And either way, House Speaker Mike Johnson says he still has issues with it. The Senate passed this bill last week. In total, it includes $95 billion for Ukraine, Taiwan, and Israel.
New overnight, the United Nations top court started hearings about whether Israel's occupation of Palestinian-claimed land is legal. The hearings are set to last 6 days. They're focusing on Israel's control of the West Bank, the Gaza Strip, and East Jerusalem. Israel captured those 3 areas during the war in 1967. Palestinians want all of them for an independent state. The Palestinian legal team is addressing the court today. Then 51 other countries will speak in the coming days. Israel is not one of them. It will likely take months for the court to issue an opinion. At the same time, about 100 family members of Israeli hostages are filing a legal complaint against Hamas at the International Criminal Court.
They want Hamas's leaders to be prosecuted. They have been fighting to get their loved ones back since Hamas captured them on October 7th. They say they're frustrated at the Israeli government for not doing more to get the hostages back.
131 days and nights. It's we cannot breathe. Cannot breathe anymore. Until Itai is home, it's not enough. Obviously, they're not doing enough if Itai is not home after so many days.
There have been proposals on the table for ceasefires and the release of hostages, but neither Israel nor Hamas is budging.
This morning, all the children taken to one of children's hospitals after the shooting in Kansas City are now out of the hospital. Now the community is coming together to support the victims and their families. Just one example, a restaurant is donating meals to the hospitals, taking care of survivors. The owner says that he was friends with the woman killed in the shooting, Lisa Lopez Galvin, and he says that donating food is the least he can do.
What I'm trying to do here is try to ease as many victims as possible by donating some food and giving them a little bit of a ease on their end. You know, I know we can't bring her back, but you know, at least ease their pain for a little bit for a while, and know the impact that she placed on so many people in the city and the community. It's just untouchable.
A few adult victims are still in the hospital recovering. 2 juveniles are in custody in connection with this fatal shooting.
It's 6:07 right now. There's some new hope for people with multiple food allergies. The FDA just approved Xolair, which can help prevent severe allergic reactions. It's an injection that people will have to take every few weeks. Then, if they're accidentally exposed to something they're allergic to, the reaction is milder. It was originally designed to treat asthma, but the FDA says it can help people with allergies to milk, eggs, and nuts.
It has been a whole year since former President Jimmy Carter started hospice care, and he is still going strong. Carter is the oldest living U.S. president at 99 years old. He has survived metastatic brain cancer, liver cancer, and a number of health scares, including brain surgery after a fall in 2019. His grandson says his spirit is stronger than ever. In a statement, the Carter family says they are grateful for the love and support they have received over the past year. Carter's grandson and the descendants of 4 other presidents all came together to celebrate President's Day weekend.
They met in Florida to talk about the legacies their ancestors have left behind.
I think my grandfather's greatest legacy is that he injected the idea of human rights into the foreign policy of the United States, where that hadn't been a focus before. And I think that that's the way he wants to be remembered, as well as a humanitarian, as a person who cared about everyone across the entire world.
Harry Truman's grandson and descendants of Dwight D. Eisenhower, William Howard Taft, and Grover Cleveland were also there.
And one thing you want to know about the weather is let's take a look at our weekend ahead, because it's going to be a pretty nice one. 60 degrees on your Saturday with lots of sunshine, a degree or 2 better on your Sunday, 62 degrees with partly cloudy skies.
And as you get ready to head out the door this morning, a live look from CDOT, I-70 and Brighton Boulevard this hour moving really nicely. We've got those eastbound lanes traveling away from us, westbound lanes headed toward us. Being that it is a holiday, not expecting the normal volume that we typically see at this time of the morning. All so far so good as you get ready to head out.
If you're in the market for a new home and you really want 12 bathrooms, give Russell Wilson a call. A new report says the Broncos QB is accepting offers for his home in Cherry Hills. Russ and his wife Sierra paid around $25 million for the 5-acre home back in 2022. It has a pool, 4 bedrooms, 12 bathrooms. It seems a little off, but all right.
It's like a hotel.
To each their own.
Yeah.
The Broncos have said they're open to bringing Russ back this upcoming season, but these plans might suggest otherwise.
You know, Erica and I have talked about this for a while. At what point do we all say, you know, we're all going to go in on one house together, like 10 different families?
Well, we would need a lot for
well, they
that
got 12
one.
bathrooms for us.
12 bathrooms. All I think of as a mom is like, that's a lot of cleaning.
Yeah, same.
A lot of toilet paper.
Same. I think the same thing. I think smaller is better, at least for me,
Yes.
right?